Well, what's up, guys? It's Josh here, and before we get into the video real quick, I just wanted to shout out www.showmefootball.com. That is my website where I cover Kansas City Chiefs, Mizzou football, and St. Louis Battlehawks. Go and subscribe, sign up, interact. We got a lot of good stuff going on over there. A ton of Chiefs content, a ton of Mizzou content, a ton of Battlehawks content, as I mentioned. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We're going to jump right into that video, but just one more time, make sure go check out www.showmefootball.com and follow me on Twitter at ShowMeFB. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Tyreek Hill is one of the most explosive players in all of football and has quickly rose as one of the top wide receivers in the entire NFL in his short time in the league. Many fans know Tyreek Hill as one of the most explosive and dangerous deep threats in all of football. He's a threat to score every time he gets the ball in his hands, but many also fail to acknowledge that Tyreek has also greatly improved his route running and catching ability over time in the NFL. In just 5 seasons in the league, Tyreek Hill has recorded 368 receptions for 5,391 yards and 47 touchdowns. 47 touchdowns. Those are insane numbers, and Tyreek Hill is probably going to continue to be one of the best Chiefs wide receivers in franchise history. But what if I told you that his career was nearly ruined and his reputation is forever tarnished due to some false accusations? You've all heard him by now. Tyreek Hill, he's known as the woman beater, the child beater. He pleaded guilty to domestic violence back in 2014. He was recently accused in 2019 of breaking their son's arm, him and his former fiance, but many fail to do their own deep diving and research into the issue, where the more you read into it, the more you realize Tyreek Hill is actually innocent, and it's actually been reported that his girlfriend lied about the entire ordeal, and people don't seem to have learned this by now. If you go on Twitter, anytime Tyreek Hill is mentioned in a tweet, people bring up his past, and it's really sad. But we're going to get into everything that Tyreek Hill has gone through over the past few years since he entered the league, and I'm going to give you guys the full, true story of what happened to Tyreek Hill. Back in the 2013 college football recruiting cycle, Tyreek Hill signed a letter of intent to play for the Oklahoma State Cowboys, where Tyreek Hill was a 4-star prospect according to 247sports.com and one of the best all-purpose back prospects in the country. As a freshman at Oklahoma State, the explosive, electric Tyreek Hill had 102 attempts for 534 yards and a touchdown, while also catching 31 passes for 281 yards and an additional touchdown, all while being one of the most explosive punt and kick returners in the country. However, in 2015, Tyreek Hill was dismissed from the school's football and track team after being arrested on a possible domestic violence charge. Shortly after being charged, Cowboys running back Tyreek Hill pleaded guilty to punching and choking his pregnant girlfriend Crystal Espinal and received 3 years probation. Tyreek Hill was able to retain his college eligibility though after pleading guilty and ended up enrolling at West Alabama. At Western Alabama, or whatever you call it, West Alabama, I don't even know. Tyreek Hill was able to finish out his college career while doing a lot of the same things that he did at Oklahoma State and just being an electrifying player. But as the draft came rolling around, many teams had questions about Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill wasn't a name that a lot of people knew for the simple fact that he ruined his image in college and had to take a step down in program after having some serious charges filed against him. After a season at West Alabama, Tyreek Hill ended up entering the 2016 NFL Draft, and despite running what was recorded as a 4.21 40-yard dash at his pro day, he ended up falling all the way down to pick number 165 in the 5th round of the 2016 NFL Draft, where the Kansas City Chiefs decided to take a chance on the troubled star. After Tyreek Hill was drafted, neither Tyreek or the Chiefs really answered anything about 2014. They weren't really asked anything about 2014. They didn't really address 2014 at all with the incident involving Tyreek Hill and his girlfriend. But after Tyreek Hill ended up becoming the Kansas City Chiefs starting punt and kick returner and ended up having a very good season, picking up a lot of touchdowns and a lot of return yards, a lot of teams and a lot of people, a lot of fans started to notice his speed and his game game-changing ability, but soon after that was starting to be noticed and posted by many major media sources, people started commenting, isn't this the guy who beat up his girlfriend? You know, this guy's a scumbag, we shouldn't be cheering for him. Tyreek and the Chiefs continued to block out the noise for a very long time. Nothing was ever really addressed. However, a simple scroll through Tyreek and his girlfriend's Instagrams would show that apparently they had worked things out and his girlfriend had forgiven them, as Tyreek and this girl had a child together, right? And it seemed like they had forgiven each other, they were still together, so just about everyone but Tyreek and his girlfriend seemed to be over the issue. The involvement in domestic violence, though, however, did not stop there for Tyreek Hill. During the 2019 offseason, the Kansas City Star, the newspaper in Kansas City, reported that Tyreek Hill was being investigated for a battery charge involving him and Crystal Espinal's son. Many took this as soon as they saw it and ran with it and started using it and plastering it everywhere to try and slander Tyreek Hill, and it was very sad to see. As a Chiefs fan, I decided to just sit and wait for all the facts to come out. In this country, you are innocent until proven guilty, and although that seems to be the opposite these days for people on Twitter and the outrage culture, that was my stance. I wanted to wait and see what happened. I just thought deep down in my heart, Tyreek Hill, you've already been through this once. No way you would mess up and do it again, right? After taking so many, anger management classes and having to do all this stuff, like, surely you wouldn't make this mistake again, right? That's what I was thinking the entire time. Well, after this 2019 accusation, that's when everything started to finally come to light for Tyreek Hill. However, the first mistake was the misinformation of the report that Tyreek Hill was being investigated for child battery. That, as soon as the KC Star reported this, national media started reporting it everywhere. Ian Rappaport, ESPN, CBS, all these outlets were starting to report Tyreek Hill under investigation, Tyreek Hill under investigation. However, a simple reading of the article would have exposed a small missing detail in all of this. So Brooke Pryor, the author of the article breaking the news that Tyreek Hill was under investigation, and Brooke Pryor, we'll get into a little bit later, she plays a big part in all of this. She royally screwed up this entire thing. She reported at first the Star had obtained a police report from the Overland Park Police Department about a battery incident that lists a juvenile as the victim. However, Hill's fiancée, Crystal Espinal, is listed as others involved, while Tyreek Hill was not listed on the police report at all. There also seems to be a convoluted understanding of when the incident actually took place. It says on the police report that it was reported on March 5th, but the incident was from earlier on, and the earlier on date seems to be unclear, but there is speculation that when the child actually broke the arm, Tyreek Hill was not home, and he was actually participating in the Pro Bowl down in Orlando. It was that year. So that's the second missing detail in this initial report. Let's talk about Brooke Pryor, though. Brooke Pryor is currently writing for ESPN and covering the Pittsburgh Steelers, but before this, she was in Kansas City before she got her ass run out of town. The reason was because, for some reason, Brooke Pryor had a vendetta against Tyreek Hill for whatever reason. And Chiefs fans got very upset at her false reporting that led to this foiled reputation of Tyreek Hill, to the point that she had to find a different job. Back in 2019, Brooke Pryor appeared on a show called Helmets and Heels. This was back in 2019. Brooke Pryor was asked about Tyreek Hill, and this is what she had to say about Tyreek. The thing that I keep coming back to is when I first met Tyreek and started talking with him at training camp, just knowing the background that he had this, something just felt off. And it's hard to describe, but it's just one of those feelings that you get in your gut and you can't quite put a finger on it. So it's been an interesting time talking with him, dealing with him, and then learning about his situation now. We reported back on March 15th that he was involved in a domestic violence incident that resulted in his son's arm being broken. And then the audio that we heard from his fiancée kind of backs that up when she said he is telling everyone that daddy did it. So yeah, it's been a roller coaster with Tyreek. Now we're going to get into this audio a little bit later. Many have already heard it, many have not heard the entire audio. But this is just one example of Brooke Pryor having an unfair bias towards Tyreek Hill. Now, sometime after this report of Tyreek Hill being investigated, forensic scientists approved and were allowed to release text messages between Tyreek Hill and Crystal Espinal in the investigation, where Tyreek Hill questioned Crystal Espinal about his involvement in the child abuse case, saying, "I did not do anything to our son, but I still somehow may be charged." Now, Brooke Pryor was also asked about this in a similar setting, and there were commas used in these texts from Tyreek Hill in this evidence, right? Well, Brooke Pryor said in response to this, "I use commas in text, but when's the last time Tyreek Hill used commas in text?" Now, I'm not one to call out racism all the time, right? That's something that we're so prone to do in this day and age, is to call things racist, but I truly believe Brooke Pryor had a racial bias against Tyreek Hill, and that's just me. She may truly have just misunderstood him. I don't know, but this sounds a lot like racial profiling to me. Now, Tyreek Hill would end up getting the last laugh, but before we get into that, let's look at this audio recording that has been alluded to. So here's another part where the national media messed up in reporting on Tyreek Hill in this entire investigation. When they released that initial audio, everyone just remembers the one with the part where Tyreek Hill goes, "You should be scared of me too," and then calls Crystal the B word. And a lot of people, I mean, yes, this is threatening. This is not a good look on Tyreek Hill. But this doesn't necessarily mean he's physically threatening her. Many took it as that because of Tyreek's alleged past, right? I didn't really see it as that way. I thought I saw it more as Tyreek Hill kind of just being so fed up with the entire thing, and you know how just he was frustrated and he said something he shouldn't have said, you know. And many only heard this part because that was the only part that got taken from this audio. And Kansas City media also messed up on this because KCTV5, a news station in Kansas City, said, "We have this Tyreek Hill stuff tonight. It's breaking. It's new. We got the news," right? So they dropped that part where Tyreek Hill called Crystal Espinal the B word and said that she should be scared of him. Well, several weeks later, 610 Sports KC got a hold of the same audio, however, found more parts in it that were considered newsworthy to them that weren't considered newsworthy to KCTV5, and they were like, "Oh, we got to play this. This is the full audio." And this is where Tyreek Hill questions Crystal Espinal about 2014 and the domestic violence incident between him and her, where Tyreek allegedly punched her while she was pregnant and all this stuff. And Crystal does not push back at all. And for some reason, KCTV5 did not find this part newsworthy. So 610 had to get a hold of it. They went to an independent investigator to get it approved to play on the air. And this is the part that people don't hear that you guys need to.
I don't know. He says Daddy does a lot of things.
Like what? A 3-year-old's not gonna lie about what happened to his arm.
Right. Like I said, I gotta. But before y'all had moved here, none of this. I broke my arm. I beat women. None of that. Cause I don't do none of that. That 2014. Oh, OD. That's a lot too. On me, that's a lot.
But you sitting here calling me a bitch and everything else.
That's what you is, bro. You ruined my life and you lied on me in 2014.
How
I'm
did
still not over that.
Lie about?
I didn't touch you in 2014. And I can put that on everything I love, bro. That's the real truth.
Okay, and then saying that you're gonna get custody of that's not gonna do.
That's the real truth. That's really.
We're business class.
Business class. You can go straight and then left.
Honestly, that's what really mad, bro. Because you ruined my life and you lied on me in 2014, bro. And if you want to rewind that night, we can rewind that night too. You was in my house, and did I pick you up and slam you? Hell no, I picked you up and put you out my door, and after that you left. And on my son, you did that, bro. And then when you get in the courtroom, you want to sit up there and cry on the stand. He hit me, man, come on, bro.
Then where did the bruises come from, Tyreek?
Did I hit you?
Where did the bruises come from?
Did I hit you though?
I'm asking you, where did the bruises come from?
Did I hit you though? Did I hit you? Tell the truth. Tell me the truth in my eyes right now.
No, you're not thinking about what had happened.
Look at me.
We're not thinking about that. Right now, the issue is.
No, we're going to handle both of these issues right now while it's on my chest. Because the still hurt over that, bro.
And you don't think that this hurts me?
And when you walked outside and turned around, what you had said, "Are you sure you're done with me?" And what I had said, "You can go home." And we done. And
no, you didn't say that.
What?
So As you can hear, Tyreek Hill sounds pretty confident that he never did anything to hurt Crystal Espinal, and Crystal Espinal, my bad, just doesn't really push back at all. I mean, she didn't admit it, but she also didn't say anything denying it. And this is the point in the case where everything started kind of to unfold for Crystal Espinal and Tyreek Hill. So after this, a lot of reports came out that Tyreek Hill back in 2014 couldn't afford a lawyer, and he got appointed a defendant and was told the only way to get a pass and to play in the NFL and be eligible for the NFL draft was to plead guilty. See, what some people don't understand is that people will take plea bargains all the time for stuff that they didn't actually do to avoid a lesser charge because of the holes in the justice system. Tyreek Hill literally was advised that if you want to play pro football, you have to plead guilty in order to proceed. So it's pretty clear that Tyreek Hill was pretty confident in himself that he did not do anything wrong. Now, many will point to the Tyreek Hill, Crystal Espinal initial domestic violence accusation photos where Crystal Espinal appears to have some bruises and marks. This could be from a multitude of things. This also could indicate a struggle between Hill and Espinal, because if you listen to the same audio, which I will link in the description if you want to listen to the whole thing, I don't want to get copyrighted or anything like that, but if you want to listen to the whole thing, Tyreek Hill claims that he had to try to throw Espinal out of his house because he did not want her there, and that's where something may have happened, where Tyreek Hill was not trying to be physical with Espinal, but did not want her in his house. So even if it's true that Tyreek Hill was truly innocent back in 2014 in regards to that case, people will still point to the child abuse case. Well, Tyreek Hill, I think it's safe to infer that he's innocent, considering the girlfriend literally admitted to police that she lied about the entire ordeal. So you really think that she lied about this but didn't lie about the other things? So now to me, she kind of makes herself, like, you lose all credibility after that. WHB-A10, a station in Kansas City, had an excerpt about this that ended up going on BSO.com, and I'm just going to read you that excerpt real quick. So, Chiefs wide receiver Tyreek Hill did not break his 3-year-old son's arm last January, and neither did his fiancée, Crystal Espinal. According to multiple sources close to the investigation, Hill and Espinal were cleared of any role in the broken bone injury almost immediately after the investigation began in March. Investigators quickly agreed with the medical staff that the broken bone was the result of a typical accident involving a rambunctious toddler, consistent with reaching out to brace for a fall. The investigation into Hill and Espinal began weeks after the broken bone was first treated, when Espinal, according to sources, asked a third party to call authorities and tell them that Hill was responsible for the boy's injury. Espinal has admitted she was trying to shame Hill because in her mind he had become too controlling and abusive again in their long and stormy relationship. KCTV5 obtained audio in which Espinal secretly recorded a conversation between her and Hill discussing their son's injury. Sources tell Sports Radio 810 that Espinal shared the audio with a person close to her because she feared for her life, apparently. On the recording, Hill, who was previously convicted of a felony after battering Espinal, can be heard telling her, "You need to be terrified of me too," after she told him their son was terrified of Hill. Now, regardless of what you think, there was, and I can't find this photo anywhere, but there was a photo shortly after the broken arm first happened on Tyreek Hill's Snapchat story where him and his son were playing video games together, and his son had a cast on his arm. So clearly, and this was before the investigation, so clearly this happened before Crystal Espinal went to police, but she admittedly lied about it to the police shortly after this. As of currently, Tyreek Hill and Crystal Espinal have split, despite the fact Espinal recently gave birth to Tyreek Hill's twins that he had with her. This just screams toxic relationship from the beginning, and Hill just tried to stick it out because of the fact they had kids together and wanted to be a good father, and I'll get into that a little bit more in just a second. But I also think it's worth noting that Tyreek Hill has earned custody of his son since this incident. So I would say signs point to Tyreek Hill being exonerated. He didn't do anything that would warrant him being arrested. I don't believe he was guilty in 2014. I don't believe he was guilty in 2019 of the incident with the son. And I mean, police will tell you that, the investigations will tell you that, the forensic scientists will tell you that. I mean, just all the signs point to Tyreek Hill being innocent, and the signs overwhelmingly point to the fact that Crystal Espinal was a power-hungry term that we use to define female dogs that I'm not going to say. You get the point. Now, the thing that I wanted to show that was from Tyreek Hill, so Tyreek Hill put this on his Instagram story several weeks back, but quickly deleted it. But some people who were lucky enough to save it posted it and showed it to just about anyone who cared. Tyreek Hill posted something on Instagram, and this is what he had to say, and it was very heartfelt, and I could just feel for him. And I just think this, and you know, a lot of people might be saying, oh, you're just defending him, you're believing anything he says. But to me, I feel like this is confirmation that Tyreek Hill truly did nothing wrong. So he posts on his Instagram story earlier this season, "My life will be a movie one day. No one has worked harder than me. No one. She lied on my name in 2014. I had no money and I had to plead to chase my dreams. Go look at the contradictions between her audio and what she said in court. I stayed with her for my son and all I got was her doing it again when I was ready to split. You have no idea how much it hurt my heart. My name been smeared so hard I will never be able to grow as big as others. I came from nothing. I almost lost everything and all people want to do is hurt me more. Thank you to the fans and to the Chiefs and my friends and family. Without you, I wouldn't know what to do. I hate talking about this because it hurts so bad and only makes me a target for slander even more. I love you guys." I mean, he couldn't have said it any better. And earlier I did allude to the fact that Tyreek Hill would get the last laugh on Brooke Pryor. So there's this video where Tyreek Hill asked Brooke Pryor, "What's your name?" after she had the audacity to ask him a question after months of false reporting and slandering Tyreek Hill. After Tyreek Hill was found innocent and back at Chiefs camp, the first time he had media availability, she had the audacity to ask a question, and he kind of threw shade at her, and it was pretty awesome. Here it is. And then shortly after that, Brooke
Just be appreciative to those around you, bro. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, sometimes I take all of that for granted.
What your conversation's been like with Andy Reid since it's ruling?
What do you mean?
He said Andy said that he didn't talk to you much.
Yeah,
So was it like once you were able to talk to him again?
What's your name?
And shortly after that, Brooke Pryor left town and Tyreek Hill signed an extension with the Chiefs. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's the story. That's how it goes. This may have changed your opinion on Tyreek Hill. It may not have. You can go and look it up for yourself and kind of, you know, make your own opinion on it. But to me, it really sucks to see for Tyreek Hill because, like he said in his post on Instagram, he's never going to be able to grow as big as others because of these accusations and people who always have this, false perception of him. And it's really sad how many people don't know the true story. So hopefully this helped clarify things for you if you weren't aware. But that's all I got for this video. Go Tyreek Hill, go Chiefs. Make sure you go check out www.showme